Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another pinball repair video for you this evening on this classic Lost World, Bally Lost World. Now, since our last video, 1 full year has passed. We've all grown older, including you. And so if you didn't watch the first video, go watch it right now. So basically, we got this game years ago. It had been all parted out. It had been left out in the rain, we believe, at one point, as horrible as that sounds. And it's such a cool, classic machine that we said, you know what, we're going to bring it back. So we started working on it. We got a lot done. We got it up and running, actually. If you see, the back glass is doing its thing. The CPU board is working. We installed the back glass in it. We got worked through all the electronics, fixed a bunch of wiring, stuff like that, and we got to the point where we needed to work on the Playfield. And then, as luck would have it, things came up and we had a lot more to do. So we purchased a used Playfield. Our other one is destroyed. I'll show you it here in a little bit. We purchased a used Playfield, dropped it in the machine just for looks, and it has sat there like that for a full year while we worked on other games. But its time has came, so what we're going to do is this week we're going to start working on this Playfield. So the first thing that I've got to do is paint it a little bit. I am not an expert. I am not an artist. But I can do a little better than that. Look at it. So I'm going to touch it up a little bit in this video. We'll get that looking a little better. We've ordered a bunch of parts to repopulate this thing. I've still got the old Playfield that's fully populated, but it's destroyed. So we're going to save as much stuff as we can off of it. You can see that in this video and in the next video. We're going to save as much stuff off of the old Playfield as we can, clean it up the best we can. We've ordered some new stuff. I've got some old parts off of other machines that we can swap out and stuff. So basically, when this is all done, this freaking machine is going to be working again. We're going to save this thing. Somebody has hurt this baby. So we've got to do something to fix it. And then after we fix that one, I'm going to fix this one. Why not? And then after we fix that one, I'm going to fix this one. And we're going to keep going until we fix all of the pinball machines we've got. But what I'll do is, the first thing I'm going to do is clean this Playfield up a little bit. And then I'm going to touch it up a little bit. So I'll show you that here in a second. I'll get started cleaning and be back with my paint. Alright, the mainly messed up part is here in the center, and there's some, luckily it's very busy, there's like a lot of art on it, so touch-ups will be a little bit harder to see because of that. You're still going to be able to see them, but it won't look as bad as if it was major solid colors. But there's a lot missing, actually, like where it says 1,000 underneath each number. Some of that's completely missing. I don't know what we're going to do about that. Might not be able to put that back. The wings are, you know, a little worn out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a black paint pen. This is actually latex paint, and paint the lines that I can tell are missing back in. Once you do that, it usually kind of gives you an idea of what else you need to paint in. Now, I'm not the best at this, but it'll look better than it does now. So basically, we're just going to go through and start replacing parts that are missing. You got to be careful though that it doesn't that you try to keep it fairly thin and try to match it up to what's already there. You can kind of look at the other side too and see how it looks. And this is kind of just a guide to go by, because after I get it all kind of pinned back in, I'm going to have to go back in and paint again, which will get on the line again, so I have to go back and do this again after this. Boom, boom, boom. There is a lot missing too. So we're going to keep inking it in, and then we'll be back when we're done with that to start with the paint. All right, we inked in a lot of the black. You can see how that actually makes it look better just doing that. And then once you do that, it becomes pretty apparent like what's screwed up. So next up, we're probably going to have to do the red, because man, that's got to be fixed. That's the most most apparent issue. So I'm going to get some reds and try to match them, which looks like it's going to be a nightmare because it's not even like a straight up red. It's kind of like a watermelon type red. So I'm going to grab some reds. We're going to try to mix something that's similar, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, folks, we've about got it. So I took some, let me find my other one. I took some, I have about 10 different reds. Country red, check that out. Country red, because we're in the country. Took some country red, a little bit too dark. Added some pink, just a little bit, and it took the edge off of it a little bit. I painted a couple places on the red just to see where does it look right, etc., etc., etc. And I ended up with, here, I'll pick you up. Be careful. I ended up with, where was my spot that I really liked? This right here has been repainted in. And by my estimation, I think that's pretty close. So you can see, like, this is a little too pink, that's a little too pink. So I mixed them all together and got a couple things going on. You can see here I was too dark, a little too dark. Now all of this is going to be clear coated, so the sheen will disappear. You won't see that the new paint is flat and the old paint is satin. That will all disappear whenever we put a little clear coat on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to touch up all the red wherever it needs it and make it look a little better. So I'll be back after I do that. Whoa, you almost fell. I'll be back after I do that, and we'll see what you think. Okay, so we went through and did all of the red. This part that's missing here is a little bit darker red, so we're going to go back and get it, and re-inked a lot of the blacks. Touched up the green just a little bit, touched up a little bit of the purple. If you rewind it, you can probably see all the little areas that look a little better now. It's not going to be perfect, folks. The way that I handled the thousands thing was I left the nice clean one and then got rid of the few other ones that were there, and then didn't try to paint in the ones that were missing. So again, it won't be perfect. Once I clear coat it, it'll look a little better. You could almost probably leave it how it is now. Once you put the apron on it, once you get the plastics on it, you know, plastics all the way up the sides, once you get lights on it, it'll look a lot better than it looks right now. But trying to make it, you know, at least presentable. We could probably get away with not even touching up the gold, but I'm going to anyway, just for giggles. Why not make it the best that I can? I tried to start, we had pretty heavy wear on both of these kick-out saucers, so I tried to put a ring back around them how it's supposed to be and touch the purple up around it. So that helped a little bit. So what I've got left is I need to get a darker red to put a couple of these little lines back in, and then I need to get a yellow that I can touch up a few of those spots. I'm definitely not going to redo the whole thing, but just to fill in a couple of the areas where the heavy wear is. And then we'll leave it at that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It was worn just enough that, in my opinion, it looked pretty rough. So we've touched it up a little bit, and hopefully that'll look much more presentable once we get everything back on the table. So I'll touch up those last things and put a little clear on it, and I'll show you the final product on that. Okay, folks, we're putting some of the little brown lines back in over the yellow. As you can see, the yellow is not a perfect match, but it's all right. So I'm trying to put some of the lining back in. Don't know how much of this you can see. Can you see it that far? No, you can't. Let's see here, back it out a little bit. So there's all this very cool brown highlights that kind of pull everything together. So I'm trying to paint some of that back in. Again, I'm not an artist, people. This, you know, This is not a top-of-the-line restoration. The people that are really good at this stuff, they would like hate this. They would say this is horrible, I'm just butchering it. But the way I see it, I'm taking a mediocre game and I'm making it look a little better. Let's see here. And I'm left-handed, so it's kind of hard for me to get the camera where my hand doesn't cover up what I'm doing. What I've always found whenever you do this is you have to keep going back and putting the black back over it. And you can kind of look at the other side and see what it looks like to kind of make it mimic it. Some of these colors like brown, some of the darker colors, if it's a little bit off, your eye can't really even hardly discern it. Like you won't even notice it. Of course, all you folks will because you're watching it on YouTube, so you know exactly what went down. But you get the point. If you can kind of, like any place where you have like, you can't see it that good, but like right here, right there is like a big open area, so it's easy to tell that that's been repainted. But these streaks like down through it like that, if you have to paint like part of the brown back over it and everything, it kind of masks it and stuff where your eye doesn't catch it as much. And one of the problems matching a color on something like this yellow, first of all, yellow is very hard to match. Yellow and red are like tough colors. If you ask anybody that's ever painted anything, yellow and red are rough. But the problem with a pinball playfield like this is that there's wear. So it's not really the original yellow. Not only has it faded, but the ball has made little swirl marks all over the playfield. So you need to try to, like if I paint it, like the color's about right, but the new paint doesn't have any wear on it. So it's obvious what's been painted and what hasn't. But parts like that where you, like I painted it yellow and then I just painted brown over it, and I've also redone the black line over it. So I mean that's going to hide pretty good. That might be about it for the brown. Let me see. Y'all see anything? What over? I think that's about it. Looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna touch up the black just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna clear coat it, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, this is what we ended up with. Again, it's not perfect, but it looks pretty good, I think. Not bad. Considering where we were, what do you think? Leave a comment below. Now, you can see this is definitely not perfect. The proper way to do it would be to mask it all off carefully and to use an airbrush. You know, I don't have an airbrush. I'm not any good with an airbrush. I'm not even good at masking anything off. So that's one way to do it, but you saw how we did it. You can see I didn't get the color quite right on the red. It was matching at the top, but that's because there was a lot more wear at the top with ball swirls and stuff. So down here it was a little bit too dark, but it is what it is. You can see that the wings from a distance look pretty good. You can't see too much of the wear. You can see right there where I touched it up. But that looks a lot like right there where I didn't touch it up, you know, so it kind of all blends in. Looks pretty good. I think a lot of people won't even know. So that's what we ended up with. Now, like I said, once we put the apron on, once we get the plastics on and everything, it'll look much better. So that's going to be part 3 of the repair series. So this is the second video that we shot, where basically we had to fix the playfield. The first video, we fixed the electronics in the back box. The second video, we touched up that playfield and show you how we did that. And the third video will be the dreaded Playfield swap. So look for it soon. We're going to start doing it tomorrow. I don't know when the video will be uploaded. It might, usually it's a couple weeks probably after you see this one, but keep watching our YouTube channel and you will see that when it comes up. Basically, we're going to lay it out. I'm going to finally show you the old disgusting Playfield that was in it, which is like a horror show, people. I mean, like a horror show. So when you see that, you'll see why we had to go through so much trouble to get a decent Playfield. But we're going to do the Playfield swap and start populating this one with all of the little sockets and light bulbs and switches and coils and assemblies and everything that we need to make this sucker work again. And then worst of all, we have to put the wiring harness on it. So you're talking a wire for every light, 2 wires for every light, and 2 wires for every switch, 2 wires for every coil. It's going to be a lot of work, folks. You don't want to miss it, but we're going to do it, and we're going to make this machine do what it's supposed to do. So make sure you subscribe to us if you like these kind of videos. We're doing all kinds of this stuff right now, so usually with arcade games, but we've been doing a lot of pinballs lately. We've got a bunch in storage, so we're trying to get them all done. And subscribe to us here on YouTube, and whenever we get our next one uploaded, it will let you know. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you thought about this. Do you think I'm a complete hack, or do you think we did a decent job on that? Right. So make sure to comment below, and we will see you on the next video.